on, Falcon fan? This your boy Ricondo, come back at you with another video. So today we're going to talk about the start of the off season without Matty Ice and what that means for the Atlanta Falcons moving forward. So guys, before we get into that, if you have not already, go ahead and please subscribe to the channel. Please hit notification bell so you know when I drop another video. Please hit the like button so I know you guys like to hear what I talk about. Then please share my video throughout the YouTube universe so more people can come in and hear me talk about these Atlanta Falcons. So like I said, guys, after 14 seasons, I know we already know this. Atlanta Falcons started their OTAs, 10 days of OTAs, and they're going to go into a mini camp before they take a little break before they come back for training camp. But just to note, just think about it, the 14 seasons, Matt Ryan is not there at the start of these off-season programs. They're going to be a new quarterback under center to start week 1. So it's going to be interesting to see. I think a long time as Falcon fans, we knew what we was going to get out of Matt Ryan. We knew he was going to be ready. He was going to be prepared. And most of us thought that, we had him as quarterback. We had a chance to be successful. So I know that's probably why a lot of people thinking that the Atlanta Falcons not going to have a good year, because we don't know what to expect out of our two quarterbacks that we have, who's actually going to be starting, what the offense is going to look like. And it's kind of a little of an unknown this time for our Atlanta Falcons. So I get it. But for me personally, like I said, not knowing that Matt Ryan's not going to be here, I'm going to actually think about this coaching staff. And I think that this coaching staff is going to have to actually do their jobs and be good coaches that we think they are. I mean, just look at, we're not going to talk about all the coaches that we got, but I definitely want to talk about our head coach, the offensive mind behind the offense, and then our defensive coach, Dean Pease. So I started off with Arthur Smith. Arthur Smith, we all know his story. He was able to stay in Tennessee for 11 seasons under 4 different head coaches. So that kind of just tell you what kind of coach he was. Of course, he had to start at the bottom, but to be able to stay at a franchise and you have 4 different head coaches and every head coach decide to keep you on to their staff and bring you back each time, and then each time you was able to move up to get another coaching job at another position or something like that. That says a lot about, first of all, your professional development as a coach, and then how you're able to transition from different positions. You understand the game of football because you're able to actually to move with all those different positions. Of course, he graduated from North Carolina, was an offensive lineman. So just think about that Arthur Smith was able to actually stay with the Tennessee Titans for 11 seasons under 4 different head coaches. Of course, we know the reason why he is a head coach for the Atlanta Falcons, because his last 2 seasons at Tennessee, he had the best red zone offense in the NFL. Right, he was 75.6% in the red zone. That's a lot. That's great for any offense to ever actually have 75%. That means usually when you come down, you get in the red zone, you're scoring touchdowns. And we know for a fact, as Atlanta Falcon fans, that's one of our Achilles heels, especially even with Matt Ryan, been our Achilles heels. Actually, even last year, we actually had trouble with that with Arthur Smith. But anybody that's able to actually to do it 2 years in a row, and be able to actually have the best offense, best red zone offense 2 years in a row, that says a lot about his creativity, his offensive mind, and then you got to think about it. Yes, he had Derrick Henry, one of the best running backs in the league, but that talent on the Tennessee Titans offense is not like world beaters all the way across the board. They had a great receivers, A.J. Brown, Ryan Tannehill, who's a journeyman who came in, but other than that, you got to be impressed about how he was able to draw up plays and consistently be able to get in the red zone in those 2 seasons. Like I said, 75.2%, ranking 5th in points is 27.9. And had the total offense, 5th total best offense as well. Of course, he had the 2nd best rushing attack. We know why that, because of Derrick Henry. Hopefully, we could kind of do some kind of translation of that. We don't have King Henry, so that's definitely not going to be as easy. But he could try to bring that kind of mentality to this Atlanta Falcons team, that physical run game. So I think Arthur Smith, definitely this year, I think his offense is going to actually open up more because of the 2 quarterbacks that's going to be competing for the job, and Marcus Mariota and Desmond Ridder. I think those guys, their physical traits that they have, being able to move outside the pocket, it's definitely going to be able to help the offensive line as well. But I think he's going to be able to call more plays. He can be able to utilize either of those guys in the run game as well. That makes the defense have more to think about. So just think about all the things that Arthur Smith would be able to do with this offense, like he was not able to do with a precision pocket passer like Matty Ice. So it's going to be different, and that's what we've seen in Tennessee. He actually had a guy who was able to be more mobile, and so we can actually see how he can translate what he did in Tennessee with these 2 quarterbacks versus what he did with Matt Ryan. I thought last year, if you just look at what we did as offense last year with the weapons that we had, we only had 2 weapons. We had Cordell Patterson, we had Kyle Pitts, Hayden Hurst never really got involved. Russell Gage came on late, but other than that, we didn't really have a consistent running game because our offensive line, we had struggles, of course, with the offensive line. So if we can definitely see improvements in the offensive line, we definitely got more weapons this year. And like I said, we can actually implement both for either one of those quarterbacks into the running game as well. So I think he's going to be able to do more this time with his offense than he was last year. Like I said in the last video, I'm not saying it's going to be better. I think it's going to be different. It's going to be better because of the more talent we have on offense. That's what we had last year, but these quarterbacks he's going to be able to utilize their skill set, and I think it's going to be able to. We can get a better glimpse of what Arthur Smith should be able to do in the kind of offense that he wants to run. So that's what I think about the offense. Of course, he's the head coach, so anything that happens, he's going to have his hand in the pot. But let's move over to the defensive side and just talk about Dean Pease, who actually been coaching for 46 years of coaching experience. He's been in the NFL for 16 years, and 12 of those years he was the defensive coordinator. He's the one of 8 coaches to actually coach 2 different teams in the Super Bowl, the 2007 Patriots and the 2012 Baltimore Ravens. And if you guys can recall both of those defenses, how good they were. If you think about the 12 seasons he's been a defensive coordinator, 10 of those seasons his defense been ranked in the top 12. So, and he only had a losing seasons twice, and one of those seasons was last year with the Falcons. So, I believe that the coaching experience that Dean Pease is going to be able to bring the coaching spirits from his coaching staff that he got, veteran coaching staff, a lot of guys that he trusts to be able to get these guys to do what they were able to do. If you go back to some of his interviews last year, he didn't even implement his whole defense like he wanted to, because it was of course a new team. A lot of guys he didn't feel like they were grasping, so he kind of slowed it down. He didn't open up the whole playbook. So I think this year, with some of those guys coming back, like a Grady Jarrett, like a Richard Grant in his second year, who thinks he's going to be better, AJ Terrell, some of the veteran guys like Casey Hayward be able to pick up. Rashawn Evans already played in this defense before. Guys like that, I think they're going to be able to help speed up the process and be able to look better this year in a Dean Pease defense. A couple things that we don't know that we could be kind of impressed by last year with the defense, even though it wasn't that good, but the Atlanta Falcons actually had 12 consecutive games with a turnover from October the 10th to January the 2nd. So, and the last time the Falcons did that was back in 2009, 2010. So, just think about that from a standpoint. And we was one of the only teams in NFL last year that didn't give a play over 40 yards, and we haven't did that. It was no team hadn't did that in the last 25 years. So, it was some good things that Dean P was able to do with our defensive guys we had last year. And we all know that roster last year was really not that good. We gave over 2,200 yards rushing. We only had 18 sacks, but we can look at some of the bright things that they did. I think that this year it's going to be important, and I think the coaching staff is the ones that's going to have to play a bigger role this year. Look at the talent, and everybody looking at the talent, and that's why a lot of people might be having the Falcons with so many less wins this year as a franchise. But coaching is a big deal. Coaching it is important. I believe in this coaching staff. I believe these guys are going to have these guys ready to play. I think these players are hungry. A lot of these guys come in with a chip on their shoulder, and they can read, they can hear, they listen. They already got the bulletin board material up, saying that we're the second worst team in the NFL next year. So, and I think a lot of these guys got pride. We know Arthur Smith and Dean Pease got pride. So I'm looking at the defense. I'm looking at the offense. I'm looking at the coaching staff. And I think that's how we're going to be able to make it out of the Matt Ryan era. Like I said, Matt Ryan was the in my opinion, they're probably the best player in Atlanta Falcons history. In my opinion, he should be going to the Hall of Fame. I think he had a Hall of Fame career. I think we definitely should have won that Super Bowl. And I think if he would had that Super Bowl, that wouldn't even be a question about him being in the Hall of Fame. But his career is not over. We wish him best luck in Indianapolis. But I think it's going to be a fun year for our Atlanta Falcons. And just like I said in the last video, we have no idea what this team is going to look like. But I do believe in this coaching staff. I believe they're gonna have these guys ready to play, and I believe it's gonna look totally different than last year. So guys, you let me know what you think about what life's gonna be like without Matty Ice. Are we just gonna have some growing pains for the next couple of years? Are we gonna be able to turn around quickly with these young guys? And see what happens. So let me know what you guys think. And this is your boy Ricondo coming back at you with another video. Peace.